on this episode of SquyreStudio Backstage. Join the Squyres family for a typical harvest week, as well as some not-so-typical family fun activities as we explore Alamogordo and enjoy life here on our suburban micro-farm. Hello, it is Monday, September the 19th. And this is another week in the life of. So I'm going to take you guys through what this coming week looks like. Today's a Monday, like I said. I think we may end up doing the farmer's market on Wednesday. And then if we don't, we most likely will do the one on Saturday. So we had high hopes and ambitions to do twice a week market, Wednesday and Saturday. And that has not, we haven't succeeded in doing that. It was just too much. We are actually just now starting to get enough produce to support two markets. We were really only getting enough for one. And that was the Wednesday night market because it was earlier in the week. It was just easier to get everything together and done by Wednesday. And then it was nice to have Saturday for our family. And so the final Wednesday night market is actually taking place this Wednesday. So after that, we will probably just pick back up the Saturday markets again. So back to, still doing once a week markets. And the market that's on Saturday is actually year round. So yeah, that'll be there for us whenever we're able to attend. So what I have to do today is actually harvest some sunflowers. I'll give you guys a close-up of some of the sunflowers that are ready to be harvested. And then I also have to harvest tomatoes. These are sun golds here. This is our front yard. We're in our front yard farm right now. And then I have several more large red cherry tomatoes, as well as what's supposed to be beefsteak, but they're only getting about like this big tomatoes in the back. Several of those are ripe and ready. So yeah, I'll let you guys just kind of hang out as I harvest these sunflowers. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, that today is the day right after the first round of voting in the social media portion of the Johnny Appleseed Organic Gardening Invitational, and unfortunately I came in last place. So actually it's really unfortunate. Like, I still have a smile on my face, but yeah, really a bummer. So but that portion was for favorite organic gardening hack, and then there's another round of voting for most exquisite curated container arrangement, and that actually starts tomorrow. So this video won't be out whenever that second round of voting starts, because I'm doing a full week in the life of. So by the time this video comes up, that portion of the voting may have already passed as well. But I'm just putting all the information about what's going on this week in this video. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And without further ado, let's get to harvesting. Okay, so here's a look at the sunflowers I'm about to get ready to harvest. These are Pro Cut Gold Light. So they have a really pretty like greenish center. I'll show you a close-up of some of the ones that should have already been harvested. Like over here, these should have already been harvested. But they opened on Sunday, and I try not to do a whole lot of gardening stuff on Sunday. So you can see these are super pretty. These are mildew resistant, I believe, and they have kept true to that. So the leaves don't look funky. Like sometimes sunflowers are prone to have funky looking, almost really diseased looking leaves, and all the leaves on these look very, very healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these harvested. I'll take you guys along with me for that. And then over here, this is the Pro Cut Bicolor. So I have a couple of those that are ready to be harvested, so I'll get that done too. Then after that, we'll work our way over here to harvest these sun golds. pick zinnias. For the past couple years, I've been growing mixed zinnia mixes, right? They're from Dollar Tree, 25 cents a pack. The thing about the mixes is I end up with mostly pink and a few orange sprinkled throughout, but I'm okay with that because I think pink and yellow looks nice, and majority of the sunflowers that I grow are like a true yellow, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these zinnias. The spring and summer of 2020 was my first ever attempt at growing zinnias. I'm tempted to call it a failure, but I prefer the term learning experience. I feel like I started so many seeds, but I did not have the knowledge about uppotting or zinnia's preferred season to grow or their preferred growing conditions. Now here watching this video, I feel like I've grown so much, literally and figuratively in regards to knowledge. You can see me wiggling the stems of the plants back and forth, and that's something that as you grow cut flowers you learn about, which is knowing when a flower is at its best stage for harvest. And now finishing up my second full growing season, I can just really appreciate how much I've learned since 2020, not only in regards to zinnias, but other cut flowers, fruits, and vegetables as well. And it's just been really neat to have this video evidence. There was a big spider over here last week, so I gotta make sure I watch where I stick my hand. These are so pretty. The only qualm I have about zinnias is that they don't last super long in the vase because they're prone to being killed off by bacteria. I do let them soak in a bucket with water with a little bit of bleach before I make arrangements with them to help kind of mitigate that. It's about midday, 2 p.m. now. So after I harvested the flowers, I did a couple of things in the house. Took care of the kiddos for a little bit. And now I'm gonna harvest the tomatoes. So yeah, I got my flowers this morning, and then I'm sorry, I'm tired. A nap would be so nice. I'm gonna also harvest okra because I have some that are ready, but from some of the homesteading accounts that I follow on YouTube, they talk about mainly roots and refuge. And Jessica mentions that harvesting tomatoes midday helps them taste sweeter because it's hotter, and so the juices have started to concentrate in the heat of the day. So that's what I'll be doing. And I have a lot of tomatoes. I have this empty ice cream bucket that I'll be using as my harvesting bucket. And I'm gonna start with some of the larger tomatoes that I have out here, and then move on to the cherry tomatoes. And I have a Kajari melon ready right there. I'm actually probably gonna grab that first so it can sit at the bottom of the bucket. So yeah, you can see several tomatoes over here that are ready. And then this big thing right there is one of my Johnny Appleseed organic gardening invitational contenders. Actually have several like really large tomatoes over here I'm super excited about. So one back there, this is trying to focus on that. There's one back that way. And then a couple up front here. But yeah, let's get to picking these tomatoes. Time to pick cherry tomatoes. So today is Wednesday of this week, and I actually didn't record anything yesterday because it was a very, very, very busy and slightly stressful day. So I didn't really want to capture it on camera. I just didn't have time to actually like set my camera up at all. I just was going all day long. But most of what I did yesterday was cleaning my kitchen and baking. And then I took a bunch of my baked goods to church and sold last night, so everything sold. And then this morning, which I meant to film and completely forgot because I was running a little bit behind schedule, but I baked oops, somebody's pulling into my driveway. Okay, that was a friend coming to pay for some pastries that she got for me yesterday, but I have finished cutting my sunflowers for today. And then I still have some sunflowers that I cut on Monday along with some zinnias. So I'm actually about to go cut the zinnias in my backyard. And then probably later this evening, I'll probably end up making some porch petals, some porch pickup flower bouquets for tomorrow. I'll probably do that later tonight. I may or may not have a chance to film it. We shall see. So yeah, I'm about to go cut the zinnias from the backyard. We're here at the county fair to check out the entries that I entered for the flower show. I entered a flower arrangement and I entered cut flowers. So that's my flower arrangement right there. And I won first place. And then the cut flowers that I did are dahlias, and I won second place for the dahlias. So I'm gonna get a close-up of them so you can see what they look like. Okay, so these are all the entries for the cut flower competition. And those are the dahlias that won second place. That amaranth is really pretty. I believe that's called Hot Biscuits. And they won first place for the cut flowers. And then over here is the flower arrangements. And that one's mine. Israel. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
Again?
Hey, Isaac.
What?
I say hey.
Come on, babe.
Yay! Hi, Izzy. It is like an hour or so later. We are in the exhibit hall across from where we were earlier. This is for the home arts division, and I did enter a baked good in the special diets category, and I did my oatmeal cookies that are wheat free, and I won a first place ribbon. Yep, so this one's mine right here. So yay. Okay, so it's Friday evening. We've had a very busy and full day, and on to do more things. We are actually about to head to the issue release party for the Southern New Mexico's Influence magazine that came out earlier this month, that featured our micro farm, SquyreStudio, and had a little piece about the work that we're doing here in our suburban micro farm. As well as a blurb about the Johnny Appleseed Organic Gardening Invitational. So that's where we're headed, and we'll have all the kids in tow.
Yep.
got back from the magazine issue release party with 4 kids in tow, and it went well. We only stayed for about an hour, so I think that was the perfect amount of time. But I was able to meet and thank the mayor for sharing my social media posts about the Johnny Appleseed Organic Invitational, the social media voting, which ends on Sunday. So it was great to be able to thank her in person, super awesome, and to be able to meet her. And then I also met the owner of the Southwest New Mexico's Influence magazine, which featured an article on me and our micro farm earlier in September, like I mentioned earlier. So it was really nice to meet him, and then just got to meet some of the other individuals who were also featured in this month's magazine. So it was a really awesome experience, very interesting picking young kids, but it turned out well. So much thanks to my husband. So I think oh, I'm gonna insert here the news clip, that the news story that featured the contest, along with a little bit of information about me that aired today. I'll put it here so you guys can see that. The Albuquerque News actually got wind of the Johnny Appleseed Organic Gardening Invitational from the post. I made a post on Facebook, and then I messaged the city of Alamogordo to see if they would share it and let people know that I was competing in this contest. And when they shared it, the Albuquerque News saw their post, so they actually emailed me this afternoon for a feature. So within like an hour, I got the email and we did the interview, and then it aired today at 5:30. So that was super exciting. So I will insert that here.
A local gardener from Alamogordo is putting her green thumb to the test by competing in a national competition.
The Johnny Appleseed Organic Invitational puts gardening enthusiasts to the test for a grand prize. News 13's Jessica Badoan is live in the studio with more.
Courtney McCary has only been gardening for 2.5 years, but decided to give the competition a shot. She's now one of 3 finalists.
So when I found out that now there's only 3 of us remaining, I was like, oh, this is great, because I feel like my odds increased.
McCary says she's heard about the competition on Instagram. The Johnny Appleseed Organic Invitational was hosting a national competition where local gardeners would compete for a $50,000 prize. Among the categories are the heaviest squash, heaviest sweet potato, heaviest tomato, and the hottest pepper on the Scoville scale. McCary says one of her biggest challenges has been dealing with New Mexico's climate, which limited how fast her fruits and vegetables could grow.
So we've been competing since February. That's when most of our gardening seasons started. So it's been a long haul competition, but it's been really fun and really cool just to see the engagement throughout the contest.
McCary says that if she wins the grand prize, she would give back to her community. She says she would help revitalize her community garden so that more residents can enjoy gardening. Back to you.
All right, Jessica, thank you. All 3 finalists will receive a $1,000 prize. The public also has until September 30th to vote for McCary's photo on Instagram.
Still to come, more changes are coming to Nob Hill.
Well, it is a Saturday morning, and well, it's like 11, so it's not like early or anything, but I'm actually about to head to the community garden. So I have some lettuce here. Do I have places I could transplant it here? In our garden at the house? Yes, I do, but I'm tired. I'm gonna transplant it at the base of the sugar snap peas that I have at the garden to act as a living mulch, and see how the lettuce does there. So I'm gonna be planting these very close together, because I only go out there 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week to water. So by having them closer together, they can help shade the soil and keep each other cool and keep the roots of the peas cool. And then, like I said, be a living mulch to retain water. So these are buttercrunch lettuce. They're looking all right. And the ones that aren't looking as all right, they should rebound once we get them in the ground. So that's where I'm headed this morning. Alrighty, I'm at the garden now. This is my first row of the sugar snap peas. They were mulched up all along here along the edge. I scooted this mulch back towards the edge, and what I'm going to do now is just kind of break up this soil a little bit. The texture of this soil, it gets compacted very quickly and very easily. So I'm going to break this up. Then I'm going to go in with the Climate Guard, incorporate it here at the edge of these peas. That'll help give these a little bit of a boost. And then I'm going to plant these lettuces here right up against these peas. So, and I'm going to plant them really tightly together. Okay, so I'm about halfway done transplanting my lettuces. This tray looks so much better than the previous tray. These I just got in, and you can see they're already wilting. So I mulched them up. It's warm today. It's about 90 degrees. So I'm just gonna have them mulched and then come through and water along here. But you can see these ones look so much fuller. So I don't know what the difference was, if one tray ended up getting dried out or not, but I do believe these will rebound back. And then once I get these transplanted in, I'm gonna mulch alongside here and water along here. I'm gonna keep planting lettuce hopefully once a week or once every 2 weeks. So when these finish up, or any ones that don't make it, I can just come through and plug in transplants. And I'm gonna do that for everywhere I have peas planted. I have one row here. I'm working on a second row there. Then I'll have a third row there. And so they will all be interplanted with lettuces. It is Sunday morning and we are running by the fair so I can pick up my ribbons from the entries that I entered, the flower arrangements, cut flowers, and the cookies. It is Sunday evening and I'm actually about to harvest my 2 contenders for heaviest squash for the Johnny Appleseed Organic Invitational. So I just finished harvesting one, and it's right over here. And it looks beautiful. If you didn't know, I'm growing the pink banana squash is the variety that I'm growing. And then we had a second one that got pretty large, so I'm gonna go ahead and harvest that one as well. And it's right over here on this side of our raised bed.
That one's a beast.
Yeah. It's golden hour. Well, so I have weighed my pink banana squash. We have harvested our hottest peppers. We're going to harvest our heaviest sweet potatoes for the invitational tomorrow. But that is a new week. So the final thing I'm gonna do today is harvest some sunflowers that I have here in my front yard that have bloomed, so I can have those conditioning and then get those sold sometime this week. So that is another week in the life of a fun and busy week, very, very full week. And I'm excited to share with you more weeks to come. So until then, keep learning and keep growing.